Much like Star Wars Force Unleashed, Chibi-Robo is kind of an interesting situation where, yet again, I at one point had the game, and then I didn't, and then I picked it up again when I had the opportunity. I mean, losing this game was one of my biggest gaming regrets ever because I really did like this game when I initially had it, and I was so upset when I didn't have it anymore. But now I get to play it again, so that's cool. Basically, you're just this little robot guy. That's basically his name in Japanese, little robot. Basically, your goal throughout the game is to make the family happy, and I think of Chibi-Robo as it's kind of like Animal Crossing, in that you can kind of just chill around, do some stuff, and it's just nice and chill and calming. And cute and like all that. Now, granted, unlike with Animal Crossing, there is an actual main story to do. It's not like you've paid off your debt. Okay, we have nothing else for you to do, unless you want to just collect more stuff. Except some of it's hard to find. I don't know. I mean, my fiance's been playing Animal Crossing, and I just at first I kind of got it, but then once you do all the major stuff, it's like okay. Now what? And there's no progression. It's just kind of you keep getting a little more stuff, and then you decorate, and then it's like okay. But with Chibi-Robo, there is a main story, and there's lots of there's lots of side stuff that you can do. But there is this main goal that you have to reach, which is you have to activate Giga-Robo, and you start off with very small things, and then you just keep progressing. Initially, basically all you're doing is doing some little chores, picking up trash around the house, cleaning up spills, that kind of stuff. Eventually, you want to get your battery up a little more so that you can get more tools that you can use to get other tools, and that you can use to get items that will progress storylines and characters and their storylines. There's a lot of characters in this game. You have not only the family, but you also have all the toys in the house. And I guess one of the biggest forms of progression you get are getting happy points. By helping people or cleaning up and doing blah blah blah, just all sorts of things, you get happy points. And the more happy points you get, the bigger batteries that you can get. Once you get a big enough battery, you don't have to recharge as much. And recharging is basically your save as well. But yeah, the whole recharging thing, it seems like it would be really annoying. But it's well, no, the less you have to recharge, the more areas of the house you can reach, and the more you can do without having to recharge. And it's kind of it's something further to, it's like a gameplay thing to work toward. It's not just story goal. It's no, I want this better gameplay, so I'm going to work towards it. And anytime a game can implement that, I think it's really clever and really good. And this game just kind of leaks charm. It's just overflowing with charm. I mean, sure, some of the writing's not fantastic, but it's charming. That's really all I can say is it's really charming. There's little silly jokes and stuff in there, and it's that's about it. It's nothing butt gusting, but it's just adorable. It's just adorable. How can it's just one of those things where it's you look at it and you're for all its flaws, I just can't be mad at it. It's just so good. And this game, you wouldn't think this game goes very far, but with the toys being sentient, it's all over the place. And each one of the toys, or each group of toys, they've got their own quest line to do, and each one is pretty interesting. You got Drake Redcrest being the justice hero who has to save the day. You got the Chew toy who's in love with Drake Redcrest, so you have to figure out her whole thing. You got Mort and how he's in love with Princess Pit. You got to help them get together. And then you got Funky Phil. Funky Phil is great. Anyway, one of the things I really, really like about this game is the sound design. Now, initially I would have said that with no qualms, no qualifications, or whatever that would be called. But I would have said that, and that's it. But something brought to my attention is, while the sound design is fantastic, there's some of it that's a little annoying. Anytime Chibi-Robo runs or walks anywhere, it makes noise, which would be fine if it wasn't so loud. I feel like if it were quieted or the sound were changed up a little bit to not be so jarring, it would probably be a little more, I don't know, not immersive, but like it would flow better instead of a boom 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 boom, like just every time you like go anywhere, because you're listening to that constantly. And I think it's very creative to use every action in the game as kind of like an excuse to make some sort of noise, because then it puts some weight behind stuff, and I really do like that. But I feel like some of the sounds need to be toned down a little bit, or at least the running that needs to be toned down a little bit. And then the family's got some sort of issues going on, and you've got the dad who keeps spending his money on useless garbage and toys, the housewife who's just sick of him spending all the money, realizing that they're in financial debt, and just having a mental breakdown. And then you have their daughter who thinks she's a frog. And they got a dog, but he doesn't do much for the most part. But yeah, you at some point in the game, you basically have to fix a broken marriage, because the husband/dad is a terrible husband/dad. He's not cut out for it, because he's such a man-child. Which is like, okay, that'd be fine if you could take care of your family. If you want toys, go for it. You want to like be all up. If you want to be all about children's like toys and stuff, go for it. You know what? That's your prerogative. But if you're a husband and a father, take care of your family, or at least contribute to it, because they're in like extreme financial debt, because he keeps buying all this stuff, and you have to help fix the broken family. And I mean, as far as like the narrative goes, oh my god, it's so interesting. So like, it's not dark, but like it gets real, like really real, and I can appreciate that. And you know, like I said, the humor in this game's not like fantastic, but it gets weird. Like this, aside from the fact that it seems like a white suburban middle class family in America, this game in a lot of ways is just oozing Japanese culture, like just in you know, some semi smaller ways in some instances, but you can definitely tell. And even then, it's just kind of absurd sometimes, just like in any sense. You've got robotic spiders that try to kill you. You've got aliens showing up at some point. A teddy bear peed on me because I gave him flower juice. It's just crazy and all over the place. You go back in time at some point. I mean, this game's ridiculous. And honestly, I would have loved a sequel to this game, except the sequels that we got weren't all that great. I mean, there was one, I think it was a Japan exclusive. I'm curious how that was, except for the fact that it was on either the DS or the 3DS, which doesn't inspire a lot of confidence because it's not a home console. But this series has been done dirty, because I feel like it deserves so much better, because this game in its original form is just fantastic, and I feel like it stands it. Like, okay, some of the models are not great, especially the human characters. The models are terrible, but everything else looks pretty good for the most part. Like, I gotta commend them. Even besides the fact that human models look terrible, you know, everything else ages pretty well. And honestly, I would love to see a remake or a remaster of this game, like, because it's polished, and it could just use a little extra polish. Like, at least visually, it could use a little extra polish. I would love to see this game on the Switch, in a more pure form, I guess. Sadly, this series, struggle to call it a series, but this property just, I don't feel like it was popular enough when it came out that it's gonna get that love, and that makes me kind of sad. Either way, I'm really glad I got to play it again, because it was a big bit of nostalgia, and it made me happy. And it's just a happy, fun game to play. So yeah, thank you for listening. Press all the buttons, and I hope you have a great day, because this made me have a great day. Okay, bye.